Hello guys, greetings to you. So you're welcome again to another episode of Studying Lithuania. My name is William and I'm a Cameroonian living in Lithuania. I make videos about studying in Lithuania. So if you are just stepping on first or the first of my videos, then kindly hit that subscription button so that you'll be notified on when I upload further videos. So this is actually a scene from a sequence of videos which I'm doing. I started with the introductory aspects, which gave an overview of what these videos are going to be talking about, and equally passed out some word of advice to you who intends to study abroad, not just in Lithuania but in any other country, that you yourself can actually follow up the process. And then I went further to discuss on the admission process, like how you can get admission, and after that, the visa application process and what happens after that. So this time, I just want to give a brief overview of everything and talk about peculiar issues, especially when you are here in Lithuania or maybe in Europe already, what you need to know, what you need to expect, and also how you have to get prepared before coming, because sometimes we get excited when we have gotten the visa and we forget the fact that there are things we need to do in order to avoid being embarrassed or be faced in a tight corner when we get to Europe. So, guys, stay tuned. Let's talk about this. So, one thing many of you will be asking is, are there jobs if I come to Lithuania to study? The answer is yes. And there are a lot of jobs. There are so many jobs that you have to make a choice. All right? You have to make a choice. There is even the possibility of you to do two, three based on your schedule. However, since you're coming as a student, this is what applies. If you're coming in at the level of a bachelor's, the law in Lithuania states that when you get here, normally you will only be having your national visa, that's a student visa. Before you can work, you need to get a document called a residence permit. It is a temporary residence permit. Here we normally abbreviate it as TRP, temporary residence permit. So this is what you need to take note of. After you've gotten your visa, I mean, you celebrate, all right, be happy and all that. But before you leave Cameroon or your country, an African country, you need to get some documents ready, which you will bring over to Lithuania and compile with others to go to the immigration department to apply for residence permit. Now, what are these documents? Normally, you need your passport. Secondly, you be given a mediation letter from the school you are studying in. The school which you have applied to, which you're coming to study in, will give you a mediation letter. Third, you also be given a document known as a proof of accommodation, and that will be based on the fact that you are staying in a student's dormitory, that is the school dormitory. If you are not staying in a school's dormitory, if you are renting a private residence outside of the student dormitory, then you have to speak with your landlord or whoever is in charge of collecting the rent to prepare some kind of document to show that you live there. So, in essence, you need a document to show proof of accommodation. Now, normally, a lot of students coming in from abroad to Lithuania, the Lithuanian student administration always give preference to them, because they're coming from afar, and it's also kind of affordable for you to live in the student dorm. So if you are fortunate to have a room in the student dorm, then fine. The school will give you the student residence document to show that you are staying in the student dorm. So that's two documents from the school. One is the mediation number, and second is the document of accommodation. Please, about the mediation, it is the mediation number that the school gives you. the mediation letter is submitted by the school to the immigration department, you don't have to be concerned. What they need to give you is just a number so that when you are applying for the residence permit, you present the number to the official of the immigration department. He or she will enter the number into the system and access the mediation letter submitted by the school. Take note. So you'll be issued a mediation number and student residence document in case you are staying in dorm. If not, you talk to your landlord. Now, the next document will be proof of funds. Normally in Lithuania now, the law states that as a student or international student, you need to have at least half of the minimum monthly wage as your monthly income. Now, the minimum monthly wage as at right now is 730 euros. 730 euros. So half of that is 365 euros, which means as you're coming in as an international student, you should be able to have at least 365 euros monthly as your monthly income for your expenses and all that. So you need to show proof of that. Now, for my brothers coming over, or brothers sisters coming from over there, you need to have a bank statement which will show that you have at least 4,500 euros. Converted in our local currency, the franc CFA, we should be looking at around 3 million. Just have 3 million minimum. You can have it there in Cameroon, or you can have it here in Lithuania. Why am I saying there in Cameroon or here in Lithuania? Now, when you are applying for the temporary residence permit, you need to show proof of funds. Now, there is a system here in Lithuania called Revolut. Revolut gives you the permission to create an account. It's like an online banking, which you can create your account in there and then you link it with your bank, wherever the bank is. So if you have a bank in Cameroon or maybe Nigeria or wherever, you can create Revolut and then you link the Revolut to your bank account such that the Revolut now will reflect the balance in your bank account in the currency of Lithuania, which is euros. So if you had something like 4 million francs in Cameroon, it will be converted automatically at the current exchange rate to show the value equivalent in euros. Okay, so that's it. If not, then the funds can be moved over to a Lithuanian bank, any of the banks in Lithuania, and then you have your money there, whether it's Swedbank, whether it's there are many of them, SEB and so forth. You open your account and then you just show the proof of funds. You can bring your bank statement or you can even tap it on your phone and show at the immigration department. And that makes it simple. So that is proof of funds. Then on in another extreme, if you are not self-sponsored, that is, if you are being sponsored by someone, then normally the person needs to provide his bank statement and affidavit of support. Now, the law states that the person can provide his bank statement and affidavit of support, or the person can provide his employment contract and his affidavit of support. Employment contract which should show that he is working in a European member state, any of the the Schengen state. He has a full-time job, and it will make sense if he has a long-term employment contract or if he has been working for long. It will make a lot of sense, because that will show that he has the means. He is receiving income monthly and he will have the sufficient means to take care of you monthly. So those are the rules as written on the migration website. So that is it. Then you also have to pay a fee. There is a fee of 120 euros or 240 euros. Actually, there are two options. There is a general mode, which takes approximately 90 days. That is, your temporary residence permit can be issued within 90 days. And there is a faster mode, they call it the urgent mode, which costs 240 euros. The residence permit can be issued within 45 days. Within 45 days. That's like 1 month and 15 days. So You need to select your own while you are applying, and you need to also provide a health insurance document. You know, a health insurance document to show that at least you have health insurance, international health insurance for at least 1 year. Very important. So, if I'm not forgetting any of the, and then there is also a document which usually applies to people who are called minors. Minors means you are below 18. If you are below 18, then you need to provide a written consent from maybe a parent or a guardian to show that maybe they'll be looking after you. Because if you're under 18, you are regarded as a minor and they need to watch over you and stuff like that. It's just a law. So that case applies only to those who are considered as minor, you know. Okay. So the next document is a police clearance. Police clearance in Cameroon, we know it as a non-conviction. So you need to do your non-conviction and you bring it over when coming to Lithuania. Very important. Now, you will need that non-conviction only for the first time when you are applying for the residence, for the temporary residence permit. If it's expired and you want to renew, you don't need the police report or non-conviction anymore. So it's just for the first time when you are applying for the temporary residence permit. Now, okay, then the another aspect which you also need to be aware of is the fact that these documents which you're providing, especially the ones coming from your country, they need to be in English. They need to be in English. If they are not in English, they need to be translated, and the official translated version should be legalized or notarized before submitting. Very important. So if the bank statement, for example, is in French, it need an official translation. But if it's in a bilingual state, that is, you know how our stuff you have the French, you have the English under. That's perfect. I mean, very, very perfect. No problem with that. No problem with that. But if it's only in a strange language apart from English or Lithuanian, then it needs official translation to English, and the translated version should be notarized or legalized, like how we call it. Very important. That applies to the police report and the bank statement. You know, in fact, any document coming from outside of Lithuania, it needs to be translated and the translated version legalized if it's not in English or Lithuanian. That's all. But if it's in English or if it's in a bilingual version, if it's in a language and then English is written just on the document, then fine. That's how we have most of our documents in Cameroon for those who understand. So that is it. So now, how does the application process for the temporary residence permit go? Now, this is something which we also need to know. Now, before you apply and visit the immigration department, you must first of all submit an online application. Must first of all submit an online application. So they have their site, which is known as migris.lt, which you need to visit, and then you sign in. There are two options to signing in. You sign in when you don't have a personal identification number yet. That is you when you're just coming in, and for those who already have. So for those who don't have, which is you who wants to apply for the first time, you need to use your email address. There'll be a space there where you put your email address, and then it will send a code to the email, which you need to take the code and put back into the box, and then you enter. You start filling the form. You fill the form and then you attach documents, those documents which I've mentioned. Passport, a scanned clear copy. Please don't use your phone scan, use the normal real scan. And this is how the passport should be scanned. You scan the information page and the page containing the visa and also stamps. Why am I saying stamps? When you are traveling, when you leave maybe through Douala Airport or Yaoundé Airport, you'll be stamped. You arrive at any of the Schengen state or maybe directly to Lithuania, you'll be stamped. So you will scan information page, the visa page, and those pages where the scans are. If the visa page is just like this and then the scans are here, then you just scan it like that, and make the scan to be one document. Don't separate it. That's a one document that shows the information page, passport, the visa page, and everything. One. That's how you do the scanning for the passport. Next, attached document should be the bank statement. In case you are being sponsored, the bank statement of your sponsor and affidavit, all of it should be scanned as one, or his work contract and affidavit, all of it scanned as one. And then the health insurance, it should be scanned as well. The police report should be scanned as well. Please clear scanning, no phone scanning, very important. And any of the other documents which I've mentioned, all of them scanned, then you upload. Now, the last stage when you're filling the immigration appointment form is where you have to book an appointment. So if you are coming to study in a university which is in the capital of Lithuania, which is Vilnius, you need to select any of the immigration department in Vilnius, if there are many there. Select one there. Because it will be convenient for you to just go there. If you're in Kaunas, select one in Kaunas. If you're in Mariampol, select one in Mariampol. Wherever you are, select the one there. So movement is easier for you. Then you select your time. Select your time. There's a slot for you to select time and date and the center you want. That's actually the last step of the process. Now, some may be asking, what if I made a mistake in the course of filling the form and I want to correct it? Well, there is possibility of editing the form even if you've already applied. So you just simply go back to the site. You will see you check under what we call my applications, and then you will see your application, and then there's possibility of editing. So you can edit some things, like you can even cancel some documents you uploaded. If you uploaded the wrong document, you can cancel it and re-upload a new one, the correct one, in case. Okay, you can change other things, but these are things that you cannot change. You cannot change your name and your phone number. These ones are already encrypted into the system. They are uneditable unless you need to go back and edit your personal information, and then which may obstruct everything. And then there is also the last part, which if you want to change, then you have to postpone your previously appointed date. If you had scheduled an appointment for maybe the 20th of October, and then you realize a mistake and you want to edit at the level of appointment, as you change it, you push your appointment to the next month. So the idea is, when you are scheduling an appointment online in the immigration department, if you're applying this month of October, know that your appointment will be next month. And if you're trying to change the appointment for next month, know that it will be pushed to the next month again. So it's a matter of 1 month like that. So that is how it is. And we should be very, very careful when you're filling it so you don't push your date further. Okay? That's it. So if everything is done correctly and then the date of appointment gets on, you just move there. Make sure you're there like 30 minutes before time. Just relax, and when it's your turn, you go in and you submit your documents. They will take your thumbprints and then validate everything. You pay your fee based on the choice selected, whether it's general mode or urgent mode. After that, go home and wait. And when your stuff is ready, they'll call you and you go and take your stuff. Now, when you have your residence permit, you can work. You can hustle. But do make sure that your work doesn't affect your studies, because you are going to be checked. You are actually in Lithuania to study. You can work to support yourself, but the work should not infringe on your studies. If you are noticed that you've not been frequent in school, or you've been absent from lessons, then it's going to affect your records. Very important. So be very careful of that. It's very important. Now, someone will be asking, please, what kind of jobs are there? There are a lot of jobs. Um, Most of the jobs which I've seen around counters has to do with restaurant. Uh, you can serve, you can work as a server or as a cook if you know how to cook. Not any kind of cook, a professional cook. Trust me. Dishwasher, you wash dishes and then you clean the environment. There are also jobs in professional milieu, like maybe administrative assistant, or maybe you can work online. There are a lot of online jobs too, jobs that requires that you work from home, remote jobs. You know, you just have your equipment in your room or in your house, and then every day you make sure you are online doing your work, following the procedures and effecting the duties as required. There are a lot of jobs, and to make things easier for you, there are sites online which you can visit, and then you kind of create like an online resume and then fill your information on it and let employers discover you. Employers go through these online sites looking for potential employees. They go there, check profiles, and then when they go through, if they see that your profile actually matches what they're looking for, they contact you right away. They don't play. Personally, I've received emails from companies which I will not want to mention here a lot, but that time I didn't have my residence permit, so I just had to stay away from trouble and ignore them. But it's always good to create these online resumes earlier enough so that let these companies start discovering you, even if you don't have a residence permit yet, but let them just know that someone like you is there. And when you finally have your document, then okay, you can now start buzzing for them and making things hard, you know. I know some might be worried, like how much can people get paid? Um, Monthly, you can earn around 600 euros, 500 euros, 400 euros. It also depends on the duration of work you put in, whether it's a part time or semi part time or full time. Yeah, there are jobs that pay like 900 euros, some pay like 1000 euros, some pay 500, 600, some pay 400. Like I said, it depends on if you're working full time or semi part time or part time. It's flexible, you know. So it's all based on your input and your preference of working time. Very, very is variable.